Hello, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So last week I made some foam word stamps, and today I want to show you how I make some very easy, straightforward stamps, again from foam. So I'm mainly going to be focusing on circles today. I'll also do some chevrons and also some borders. Now what I'm using is a circles template. This is not essential, you can do them by freehand, but I'm just taking different sizes of the template, and all I'm going to do is to make some concentric circles so they all fit in within each other and have the same kind of centre point. And you can make these as big as you want or as small as you want. You could have them evenly spaced or make them different. Now here my pen started to run out. I wasn't sure I'd gone right through it at one point, and I do go over it a little bit too vigorously, and I end up going through the foam in a bit. I actually end up cutting it with my pen, but it's fine, it works out fine. And I leave this one for demonstration, but what I'll probably do at some point is to actually make this into smaller rings, because I already have a few of this type of stamp. So just going to cut round that. Now I think these are great stamps to make. They are so inexpensive. This one sheet of foam cost me around 50 pence, so I don't know what that will be in US dollars, maybe about 75 cents, and can get a lot of stamps out of that. I am going to be making some more, but I actually need to replenish my foam stocks. So here I am. I'm just going to show you how this one stamps. I've actually put a bit too much ink on that, but that doesn't matter, and sorry, going slightly out of shot, but there we go, I've pulled it in. And I like the fact that I can stamp it several times and get a slightly different effect. So I'm going to do a second circles stamp, but this one I'm going to do slightly differently. I'm going to make it non-concentric, so it won't be one single centre point. I'm doing my outer circle, and then what I'm going to do is to start to line the circles up almost along the bottom line of the first circle. And I think this creates a really nice effect. This is one of my favourites to actually use. So again, just doing different sides of the circle, but pushing them all down to that bottom edge. And I'm trying this time not to go in quite so hard. Now the stamps can be washed just in the normal way with a damp cloth. You could use a baby wipe. I haven't been cleaning them in between, and that's why I end up with so much ink on my fingers, but giving them a wipe down each time is a good idea. So again, I'm just going to cut around the edge of this one. And what I like about making my own stamps is that, you know, you can make designs that are yours personally. Okay, they can be copied, but every time somebody makes one, it's always just a little bit different, so no two are exactly the same. And all I'm doing is using my double-sided tape here just to try and stick this down. I think, as I said in my word video, I am going to try and attach some of these to some blocks of wood. And here we go with this one, and you'll see that just creates a different effect, and I really like that one. So I'm now going to do a third one with circles, but I'm going to do this slightly differently, because what I want to do this time is one that has a kind of distressed feel to it. So you'll see when I do the circle there, I'm not actually fully completing the circles, but I'll go in again as if I was making concentric circles. But with each one, I will just leave a slight gap. I don't do it in the same place with each one, I do it in a slightly different place. Now what I'm going to do is to take my pen and just push into it in different places, really just kind of grunging the circle up a bit. Now the other thing about the foam stamps is the foam can start to rise a little bit again, but all you need to do is push it back down with your pen. And I've found that these stamps can last quite a while. They won't last as long as kind of rubber stamps or polymer stamps, but they do last a while. And given how little they cost to make, you know, it's not quite so bad when they do wear out. So again, I'm just going to cut around that, just going around the little nick there, just so that I get that effect when it's stamped. Now you can of course freehand any of these. And when I do my next video, I'll probably be doing a bit more freehand once I get some new foam in. And again, I really like the effect that creates. So there are 3 very straightforward, easy to make circle stamps. So now I'm going to do some chevrons, and in the way that I did with the words, I'm going to make 2 versions. So I'm just roughly drawing out 2 different sets of chevrons. Just doing them basically the same. These could be done with a ruler to make them very even, or just doing them freehand as I'm doing here. Now the first one I did with felt pen, because I'm not going to push the foam on the actual chevron bit down. I'm going to push down the background. And that'll be clearer in just a second. So I'm cutting these into 2. And just trimming that one because a lot of the background I can actually cut out. Because with this one, I want the actual chevrons, the arrow bits themselves, to be the main bit that's stamped. Whereas the other one, it will be more of a block stamp, and the actual chevron bit will be the kind of negative image. So now that I've cut out the excess, all I'm going to do is to take my pen and push down the foam in between each of the chevrons. And this foam pushes down really easily. It's just a very thin sheet of foam. I think most art and craft stores stock this kind of thing. I've even seen foam like this in some of our larger supermarkets that have a kind of stationery and kids section. So I'm now moving on to the other set of chevrons, And what I'm going to do with this one, again, I'm just going to trim off any excess, but what I'll do with this one is to take my biro pen and I will actually just push down on the chevron itself. So I've gone around the edge of that one. Again, just trying to get this to stick down. So all I've done is to go over the chevron with the ballpoint pen just to push it down. So you'll see here that we get the shape of the chevron. And again, I'm quite happy with the way that that's turned out. I'll now take the other one, and you'll see that what we get this time is the kind of reverse image. Now I'm just doing it on this plain sheet of white paper just to show it. I'll try in perhaps some future videos to show how I use them in actual journals. So now I'm just going to make a very quick border stamp, and if you have some favourite marks that you like to make for borders, favourite design, then just draw it onto the foam, and that's all I'm doing here. Just taking my pen and pushing down, drawing the design. The pen just keeps running out of ink, but that's okay. You don't really need the pen as such, it's more just a pointed end, but I guess the pen actually lets you see the design that's going down. Now just making some marks within that just to add interest. And this kind of design I do quite often on journal pages, and I just thought, you know, this is the type of thing that would be quite good just to have a stamp, especially if you want to do a very quick journal page, then have that to hand and can get it down quite quickly. So just cutting around some of the detail, but to be honest, I'm not cutting it, I wouldn't say I was fussy cutting it, you know, I'm not cutting it out in detail. If there's little bits of overhang, it doesn't matter, that just all adds to the effect on the page. And again, I like the way that that turns out as a border. And just pushing it down in places there just to bring out more of the detail. And finally, just a very, very quick bit using up some of the scraps. Just going to cut a kind of jagged effect into this, not measuring in any way, doesn't matter if it's equal. Trying to use up some of the ink that's left over on the acrylic block there. I'm not even bothering to stick that one down, I'm just going to put it on the page and press it down. And again, that could act as a very simple border. So there we go with the different results, and as I say, I'll be back again soon with another stamps video. So thanks for watching, bye for now.